Okay, good morning everybody, and welcome to another round of coffee and questions. What are we going to talk about today? I was watching a video where a guy was talking about these butt splicing heat connectors, and he was complaining that what he saw when he went to, I don't remember if it was O'Reilly's, AutoZone, or Pep Boys, but what he did is he went in and they wanted about $18 for a packet of 11, and I thought, wow, that seems really kind of steep, and that was his complaint anyway on the video. So he, I don't know, he managed to buy whatever he needed and he finished the project. But I started thinking, that's ridiculous. I mean, really, that's way too much money for such a little product. I agree with the comment that he made. We all want to support local businesses. I'd like to do that too. But in terms of pricing, you got to be in the ball game to some degree. And if you're charging that much for like 11 connectors, you're not even in the parking lot of the ball game. So then I start looking elsewhere, websites everywhere else. Now, the ad you see here, this is from Home Depot. And this is $11, and this is for, this pack of 22. And, it's still a little steep, I mean, for what you're getting. And I thought, well, let me just search around. Let me see if I can come across a better deal, because I needed some, but I don't need them right away. I don't mind if I have to wait for them. Let me see what I come across. So this is what I came across, and I got it off Amazon. Give me a sec. Let me just change the picture. All right, so here we go. Here's the picture off Amazon. You get 200 pieces for $21.99. It ships Prime. And these are the exact same connectors. And I thought, well, let's take a closer look. Are they really? So I called up a friend of mine who has been buying stuff off of Amazon, and he said he bought a smaller, they sell them in different sizes. You could get them less than 200 or more than 200. But this is the one that I grabbed off of there because this is the set that I wanted to buy. And he told me, look, go ahead and buy them. It's a great deal. If you buy it this way, you're going to have plenty of connectors. And he goes, and if you read the comments, which I did, and I'll read it to you, where if you have any trouble with these, I mean, there's another little trick that you can do. But he said, these right here from Horloy up here, he bought them before in a smaller quantity and they work perfectly fine. So I believed him. I went ahead, I purchased them. I'm waiting for them to arrive. But let's do some of the questions and answers, and let me see what other people had to say about this before we wrap it up. But I wouldn't pay the AutoZone and the O'Reilly's prices. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous for such a small quantity. That's my point. This seems to be a much better deal. I'll leave the link below, but let's go to the questions. All right, so one of the things said, can it be used with low voltage outside lighting? And the guy made a comment, he uses them all the time in a marine environment. They do a great job. You just have to use a heat gun and make sure that the glue kind of oozes out. Then you'll be fine. And if you're really concerned that isn't going to work, you can actually take heat shrink tubing, put it over that, use a heat gun, and now you've got something that's bulletproof. Now, I think that's a great idea, and I liked reading that tip because I'll use it in the future, like when I do trailer lighting and stuff like that, and I use these butt connectors, because put the heat shrink even over the top of this, whether you need it or not. Like he said, it's like bulletproofing it. So I thought that was a good idea. Another comment, somebody's asking, what do you use to crimp the connectors? You can just use a standard crimping tool. It'll work totally fine. And somebody asked, do you need to crimp it before heating? Yes, you do. Is using the crimping tool the best way? Yeah, it is. You should always crimp them before, you heat them or do anything. But ordinary crimping tools, I mean, they'll solve your problem. Okay, so there's a lot of questions in here on crimping and heating. How do you shrink it and stuff like that? Okay, look, it's an easy 3-step process. Just hit the pause button and take a look at the picture here in the picture. Take a look at the picture rather, and it'll show you how to, insert it, how to crimp it, and then you heat it up and what it does. One of the complaints on here is, I couldn't get it to crimp correctly, so I think they're junk. Well, if you're not getting it to crimp correctly, maybe you don't have, a good set of crimping tools or pliers. So I wouldn't blame the connector, right off the bat. So there isn't enough in your comment for me to know what you're using to crimp it with. But like I said, a friend of mine uses these, they work. Another complaint is they don't feel the heat shrink part of this shrinks well and tight enough. Yeah, but I'm back to the same point. You can go over it with heat shrink tubing, shrink it, like I said, and make it bulletproof. That'll solve the problem. I haven't had that issue on other butt connectors I've used and, that were heat shrink. So I don't know. I'll wait and see. But like I said, a friend of mine, I keep telling you, he uses them from the same company, and he's got good luck with them. So I'm going to give it a shot. I went over, borrowed a handful of his, and completed a trailer project. They worked fine for me. But I have a good crimping tool, and I use the heat gun correctly. And I did go ahead and put the shrink wrap over the top of it. And I'm real happy with the end result. And actually, I'm looking forward to having this kit inside of my toolbox. We've got all the different sizes. It's just nice to have there. I can reach in and grab what I needed when I need it. If I have to replace like a certain high usage one, I can just buy those in particular off Amazon. My overall point is for the price, you can't go wrong. It's $21.99 and ships prime. Even compared to what you can get out at Home Depot in such a small quantity. So for me, I want them in my toolbox. I use them a lot. So for me, it's a great deal. I just wanted to share it with everybody. If something else out there better, drop me a comment, let me know. But price-wise, I wasn't going to pay what they're asking at the auto parts stores. There's no way. Well, if you take a look at the review percentages on here, and I did, 80% of the people gave it a solid 5 stars. Another 10% gave it 4 stars. That's 90%. Then there's a small percentage of people that complained about, how it shrinked, when they heated it, or the crimping tool. My thought is if you do it correctly and you have the right crimping tool and you apply the right amount of heat, they work fine. Small handful I borrowed from a friend of mine worked great. That's the reason why I went ahead and opted to buy this set on the 200 pieces. So I don't want to, disregard, your criticism of these. You either got a bad batch, maybe you don't have the correct tool, or maybe you're using too much heat. I don't know. There's another comment somebody posted. I'll go ahead and read it. It says, absolutely awesome connectors. When heat shrinking, the connector to the sleeve, it actually bonds to the wire, providing a great watertight connection. And then he waited quite a while before reviewing because he wanted to test them out himself. He's giving his honest impression. A lot of them out there on the market are crap, even the ones he's been buying from Napa. Okay, so again, like I said, you got 90% of the votes given it either 4 or 5 stars, says it works totally fine. Another comment about the box, everything's nice and neatly organized, sits into your tool drawer perfectly fine, with other connectors and other things. Yeah, that's true. That's another advantage that I'm going to look forward to, is because I have a drawer that's dedicated to fasteners, and I have all of them in some kind of box or something. I can just grab the box, and I don't have them laying all over the place. Your comment, why do I have to use shrink tubing over the top of the connectors if they're supposed to do their job? Well, you don't have to. But let's say that you made a little bit of an error on heating it, or you had some kind of an issue, or you want it bulletproofed, like the guy said in the comment. Then just put the tube itself over it, and you've got double the insulation. It's a good idea, I think. Well, what if you're an auto mechanic or an auto technician? Yeah, a friend of mine, he's an auto mechanic. I talked to him. I don't know that he uses this particular brand, but he likes using the ones that are similar to this because it makes a great waterproof connection on when he's doing vehicle wiring and stuff like that, where he needs to butt joint something together, and then he heats it up and he knows that he's got this waterproof seal. So I don't know, he stands by them, but like I said, I don't know that he's getting them from the same manufacturer. Yeah, well, yeah, you got your opinion and, whatever, but if you have a garage or you're a mechanic, I would think you damn well would want a box of these around. They would come in really handy. Okay, well, look, if you like the other ones from the auto parts stores, that's fine. Look, my opinion is I don't want to spend a fortune or an unnecessary amount of money, on something that I can search around and I found an alternative that works equally as good, maybe better. And that's all I'm presenting here in the video. You can disagree and buy what you want, or like I said, leave me a comment. I'm not trying to debate this. I'm just saying this is a good deal for what it is. Yeah, my final point here is if they work out, like I'm hoping they do, and I do believe that they will, because like I said, I got a small sample to try out, I'd buy them again, and you'd save quite a bit of money in the process. Okay, this was meant to be a quick tip video for you. I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you click subscribe, drop me a comment if you disagree and you got something better or you've tried these, whether you had good luck or bad luck. I hope to see you on the next video. You folks have a great day, and thank you for watching. Bye.